Hi, everyone, and welcome again to Machine Dreams, where the people building AI talk honestly about what is working, what is not working, and what is coming next. My name is Kolawole Samuel Adebayo. I'm a technology analyst and Forbes columnist, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host. Well, unfortunately, my co-host Leah Stern is unavoidably absent today, but not to worry. She's going to be back with us very soon. Today, I'm joined by Gal Nakash, co-founder and chief product officer at Reco, a SaaS security platform that discovers and secures AI apps and agents across enterprise organizations. Gal is a Forbes 30 under 30 honoree and formerly served as head of research at the Office of the Prime Minister of Israel, where he led cybersecurity operations and was the youngest lieutenant colonel in the office's history. Gal, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you. Great to be here.
I'm curious about the whiteboard with all the markers and equations, behind you. Is that the secret of the next big AI application today, or for tomorrow?
That's probably, we need AI to read it.
Yeah, probably. Okay, great. Let's get right into it. So let's start right with what we want to talk about today, something interesting called SaaS or AI SaaS sprawl. What is AI SaaS sprawl, first of all?
Yeah, so AI SaaS sprawl is, first of all, sprawl is when software spreads faster than governance. And SaaS sprawl is apps multiplying and connecting to each other. Like every department buying a new tool, every tool talking to three other tools, and nobody tracking it at all. While AI sprawl is a new term that we discovered this year when AI features and agents show up inside those apps. Now they are not just helping humans work, they are doing the work. And they are reading your data, writing your new homegrown apps, taking actions 24/7 with no human in the loop. And the surprising part is that most enterprises think they have 30 apps. They actually have more than 500. And each one is connected to three others they didn't approve, and it's multiplying. So when you multiply AI sprawl with SaaS sprawl, it's something you can't control.
Wow. Many will think that there's a lot of things happening on the positive side with AI. Obviously, there's a lot of utility value, but when you start to talk about some of these risks, you start to see the bigger picture of things. Security is being compromised by, advances in AI technology. So it's interesting to see that a lot of companies actually don't know the number of tools that they're actually sitting on. What I'd like to know really is if you can walk me through a situation where a company discovered something alarming, about how their employees were using AI or SaaS tools. The big risks that employees are seeing or that businesses are actually seeing with how their employees are using these tools.
Yeah, so the big risk is like, first of all, you don't know what you don't know, and you can secure what you don't know. And when AI multiplying like crazy and a model become outdated in less than 100 days, you can control it. And the big risk that we discovered, for example, is an enterprise of a financial institution that decided to embed Microsoft Copilot, and they added it to the approved list. They saw like, great, we use AI as in a company, but then they realized that most of their employees use ChatGPT and Gemini and not the Copilot. And why? Because models improved much more faster in those new platforms. Their employees sees like LinkedIn posts or Instagram posts on how to do something cool and faster with AI. And they basically count the apps IT approved, but they don't count the apps people actually use. And when people use it, they actually upload data to those AI tools, connecting them to the to other SaaS apps and the system of records of them and the knowledge base of the enterprise. And then the data is moving outside the perimeter, and the data is out of control. So we discovered this a lot, mainly a lot with the enterprises that enforced only Copilot, and see that in reality their employees use Claude and Gemini and OpenAI and all the other apps, and the other apps that are raised every day of AI.
What really is because it seems to me that a lot of employees across organizations don't actually know some of these risks, or maybe they do know, but they don't understand the impact that this risk could have. What is powering this reality for employees? Could it be lack of proper training by organizations, or a general lack of AI literacy across the ecosystem?
So I think first of all, um, it's a revolution. AI. It's not something we. It's not the same as we had with IT and enterprise IT in the last 20 years. And the boards and executive want AI velocity, and while the auditors want AI governance, and security in general is stuck in the middle, like between like I need to be the house of yes, but I don't have any capability to put boundaries and controls and those guardrails that I need in order to secure it. And the the main issue that we call it the oh shit meeting, when the CISO walk into the room and see for the first time the reality, the Reco dashboard, after we run the discovery and see that they have so many apps and agents, many OWASP connections, and many agents that already implemented. And that's the main challenge for the first time. Like I hear executives and CEOs say, "I want managed chaos. I want people to embrace AI. I want people to use more AI. And in order to use AI, they need to try those new SaaS apps."
For workers, whether knowledge workers, or people in dev teams who, might be working today, who are using AI tools, hearing from an expert like yourself, what don't they realize that they're giving away when they use these tools? I'm quite curious to know that.
So they don't know how vendors treat their data. Like when you use a new AI app and you connect it into your Salesforce or your HubSpot, you don't really know, once the data pulled by the vendor, what this AI vendor will do with your data. So and you can see it because most of those tools are like kind of a freemium that it's free to use them as single user, but then out of the EULA and the privacy that they are going to train on your data. And we discovered it with a lot of Fortune 100 companies that use Gamma AI for presentation, or like design presentations with AI. And most of their employees use it as a shadow app, as a shadow AI. Upload like on a deck or slides that are lack of design, and then Gamma use it, design it, but also store this data and use the data as part of their models. And that's the big risk.
You've just talked about something which I've seen you talk about a lot in the past as well. This new concept of shadow AI. Perhaps it's not even new. Maybe it's getting blown up because of the AI revolution. But do you want to speak a bit about that? The concept of shadow AI.
Yeah, so as you said, like it's accelerate, and it's accelerate because um in order to the best way to consume AI is to consume it via SaaS. Like you don't have You don't want to deploy new servers. You don't need compute. You just register and you start to use it as we did for SaaS. Like I'm a marketer. I want like to use an application to manage my marketing leads. So you register, starting to use it, and I don't need to ask anyone. I don't need to get approval. Just like register with my email, maybe getting a credit card, and I'm all set. But with the shadow AI, is with AI in general, it's accelerated because every day there is a new AI tool. Like it started from GitHub Copilot, moved to Cursor, and now we see the Cloud Code, and people talk about open code. So every week there is a new AI tool, and there is a new shiny app that you want to use, and that's the real sprawl. But it's not stop here. I think the inflection point was the AI agents, because when you use a shadow app or shadow AI and they can take actions, that's one risk. But when those tools and agents can take actions across your system, permissions stop being a checkbox and start being a blast radius. Like it start to be must have in order to secure your perimeter, basically outside perimeter and secure your data.
Great. At Reco, this is a problem that you're dealing with a lot. Uh, how do you help companies fix what you actually find? Because I'm very curious about that. Do you block access, to these tools, or is there more nuance than that?
So it's even starting before, because security teams are expected to manage this, but they can't answer even the basic questions right now, which is which agents exist, who owns them, what data can they touch, and what action can they take. And here is the thing that people miss about AI agent. Each agent is a crown jewel. Like a typical agent has OAuth grants or like service accounts of 5 or 10 SaaS application, and it can read your data, write to your systems, take actions on behalf of users constantly, and also unpredictable. And if you have one compromised agent, that's basically compromise all the other apps this agent has access. And that's the shift that breaks traditional security assumption. What we do is starting with the visibility, discovery, and visibility across all those tools. Then set governance and guardrails, how to configure it, how to shrink the attack surface, reduce permission, least privilege access, and then monitor them and if needed, also delete those agents and delete the access from the system.
It's interesting that you've just talked about agents, because that's one of the biggest topics on top of my mind since last year when the big agentic AI wave began. A couple days ago, there was a Molt book where agents are interacting, kind of like a social media platform for agents. And there's a lot of questions about that. I've seen people say that those agents are actually human beings, behind the scenes. But maybe that's a conversation for another day. But I'm curious to see what are some more, security risks that we're going to see as we move further along in this new realm of agentic AI, and how should companies, be preparing for that?
Yeah, so I think that's the $1 million question today, because we are like kind of building the guardrails while we are building the AI concepts and the AI solution. So it's really changing every day, and but it's starting again. It's uh, starting from the visibility and understand what agents do you have, what are the use cases, how people use them, and then check what are the actual actions and permissions those agents acquired, because the new type of risk is that each agent become a crown jewel. Because if you think about it, before the agents, when you had an identity, a human identity, or even a non-human identity, but the risk was the connection between the identity to the system, between like Gal to Salesforce, between Gal to HubSpot, between Salesforce to HubSpot. That was controllable. But when we talk about agent, now an agent connected to like Salesforce and HubSpot and Notion and your knowledge base, and this agent now, once a threat actor get access to this agent, the threat actor basically get access to all those systems. And now instead of hundred of doors, you have million of doors. You have million point of risks, and you need to govern them. You need to manage them, and manage them by saying manage them is to approve them, manage their access, and track the activity, monitor and track the activities.
That's interesting. If you had one big piece of advice, for companies that are looking to actually solve this problem, it's a big problem. Loads and loads of companies are thinking about it. What would that big piece of advice be?
It's first of all change your mindset, change your approach, because the game has changed. It's not this like we built a lot of security guardrails and security concept in the last 20 years that are now irrelevant for this period, and you need to adopt to a massive change in the way we do security, in the way we set the guardrails, and in the way we operate. And it's starting but from the first and the biggest mindset change, which is you are the house of yes. You need to enable the business, you need to support the business, and guess what? It will happen with you or without you, because that's the race that we see today with AI. So, and then how to secure it. And once you did this move, once you did this mindset change, now you can start to rebuild your security policies and security guardrails that are completely changed from your past approach.
A lot of people tell me that it's hard to predict what's going to be next in AI, especially because it's moving at breakneck speed. As you said, every other day we're seeing new tools, new applications. I slept and then I woke up, and then the next thing I see is something called Moltbook, which I never had before, right? So it's moving at breakneck speed. But my question is really about what is next? What is the next frontier? Because, now we're in agentic AI and there's all of this risk. What's the next thing that we should be looking forward to?
So I think the next thing for sure is to see it in action. Like today we see like, I think we just discovered that around 62% of enterprises already deploy some agentic AI workflows. But we are going to see the real change when we will see major and important workflows moving to be a fully autonomous with AI agents, and that's probably will be 2026, and that we will see much more AI agents deployment that are real and works in a way that is much better than human.
For business leaders, employees, workers, individual contributors, knowledge workers who are listening and they're wondering why this is, why this is important right now. What's the big deal about this SaaS sprawl that you've been talking about? What are the consequences, if you could explain, of ignoring this, for business leaders and for employees across enterprises today?
So I think it's like you will not survive if you will not adapt. Like everything in the like any revolution, if you want to survive, you need to adapt. But what's really changed that it's moving fast than ever, and uh, the winning teams, I think, are the teams that build security, that assume chaos is permanent, and help and support those enterprises to move faster into this AI era.
Great, great. Thank you so much. Well, that's it for me. If you want to be on the winning team, you better do what Gal has just spoken about. Thank you so much for joining us today, or for joining me. This was quite clear, practical, and really valuable. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah. And to everyone listening, this is Machine Dreams. We have more conversations coming with the people shaping the future of AI. I'm Kolawole Samuel Adebayo, and I'll see you next time.